If I were to ask you what is that number one skill that coaches need to have, especially in 2025, what would be your answer? Now, you might think of a few things like adaptability or having a sense of control, but I would argue that it is to think with clarity. And your ability to think with clarity is going to tie your business with growth. Because as I mentioned in my previous video, you need to be innovating in order for your business to grow exponentially. Now, I also went into the step-by-step process in which you can innovate your business, especially your coaching business. And I told you how you have to sit in a room alone without any distractions, without any person, and just stare at the ceiling and wait for the answers to come and ask the big question of how you can improve your business. And I went into complete detail, so I'm not going to repeat myself because this is already going to be a long video. And if I repeat myself, it's going to be an even longer video. But you need to be innovating your business in order to grow. And the ability to think with clarity helps innovation. So in the last video, I told you about how you can go about the process, but I didn't tell you how to think. In this video, we're going to dive into how you can tie it to your business so you can scale your business almost at an exponential speed. Now, let's start with the first thing. Clarity. You see, we live in a day and age where clarity is missing. We have this social media era where Instagram, where YouTube, where Snapchat, all of these things. It doesn't look like Snapchat. It looks like something really else. We have all of these things in our lives, and our brain has been rotten. We can't think straight. We can't even think about anything for even half a minute. So it is crucial to have a clarity in this day and age. And the people who have clarity in 2025, it's like having an unfair advantage. And you have this edge. You'll gain this edge against anybody who can't even think straight with clarity. Everybody now is trapped in their thoughts. They're overthinking, and they're just filled with brain fog. They can't even think straight. So you'll have a superpower over all these people who can't think. But there are some protocols for you to think clearly. And the number one thing, that's why I put it in the top, is to make progress. Progress boosts clarity by miles. You see, I'll go ahead and tell you how incredible this is. Once you make the progress, especially in your business, you gain this energy, this energy from within, and you can keep on going, keep on going. It's like you should have been tired by all the work that you did, but the irony is that you feel a sense of confidence, and you gain clarity just by progressing towards your goals. And the feeling you get when you go all in, and especially every single day, this clarity that you get, it's like a clarity of a monk, and it's like a new world has been opened to you, that you can keep on going, and burnout does not exist because of this. And conversely, when you're not progressing the way you should, you become lethargic and you get this massive brain fog. And I want you to understand this. You take a look at your days and look back at the days where you were lethargic, where you didn't make any progress, where you knew that you didn't move the needle in any which way. And if you look back, you'll find that that day you were extremely confused. You didn't have any plan, you didn't follow through your goals, and you felt like absolute shit. And while we can't verbalize and put adjectives to our state of confusion, what we're experiencing is a lack of clarity. But if you take the day where you're progressing towards your goals, you're crushing your to-do list, and you know you've moved the needle by 10 folds that day. That day, you gain this clarity and you can think straight. It's like ideas are flowing inside of your head like they've never came to you before. And you'll find this, it's like you've unlocked your brain. It's like you've swallowed that limitless pill that we see in the movie Limitless, and it's like a whole new world has been opened to you, and you see things differently, and you feel lighter as well, and you gain this effortless clarity. I call it this effortlessness because it comes without you thinking. Ideas come to you without you thinking, without you putting in any effort. Or otherwise, on the days where you had this massive brain fog and you were confused, those days you couldn't even think straight, and you might even stress out by thinking too hard about the things, about how to manage your business, about the details of your business, that those details which are out of your control, and how you can make things better. But it is like a black hole that consumes especially the coaches. So progress is what boosts clarity, and it's going to boost your clarity by miles. But I want you to understand that it's not only the business progress that gives you this insane superhuman tendency to think clearly. It is also the other aspects of your life that needs to have this sense of progress as well. If you're neglecting all of your personal issues, if you're neglecting your relationships, which I should write here as well, if you're neglecting your relationships, if you're neglecting your fitness, your if you're not working out, if you're not optimizing yourself with the best diet, then you're not gonna get the same clarity. It's all tied back together with each other. And what I need you to understand is that you need to take all of these things into consideration. Have the best service, have the best product, crush your goals. If everything's working, then improve, then innovate your business. If something needs fixing, do it right away. Treat your business like a machine. Like a machine, you need like an iPhone that you need to polish even further. Same with your body. Polish it with workout. Give yourself the best diet. Other than that, consume yourself with good knowledge. Knowledge that is going to boost yourself, that is going to boost your business. Read about things that are going to be beneficial for your business. Invest in mentors. Even though you're a coach, have mentors and become a student. That way you also learn about coaching more than anything else. Then have time with your family. If you're neglecting your family, if you're not calling your mom, you get this mental alarm that you haven't called her for a week. It's gonna put burden on your shoulders. Even though you're running your business, you're making the progress in your business, but neglecting parts of these will become a burden, and eventually your business progress is also going to slow down. That is how it works. Most of the problems people face in their business stem from the problems they're facing in their personal life. That is just fact. Those are just facts. But people tend to neglect their family, their personal issues, they don't have their mental health in check. Their mindset hasn't gone through anything at all since last year. They aren't consuming any knowledge. They're learning a few things about the business, but they aren't investing in their personal growth. And even in business, they aren't learning the new things. They aren't adapting by learning the new things. Now, I'm not saying about learning the tactics. You might delegate a lot of processes to not learn about your business as well. But first, you need to have the complete knowledge and master your systems before you delegate. And so you need the knowledge. You need to read books. If you don't, there is no excuse of not having any time. Everybody can manage all of these things. Also, spirituality is a big one. People neglect their souls, which is the foundation of their body and mind. Without the souls, there is no substance. And while it is a corny statement to say, but without a soul, there really is no substance. Think about it. If you're not polishing your soul, you aren't going to progress in any other areas of your life. This neglect becomes a burden, and it weighs people down, and you could feel it. Now, I want you to remember the time where you're gaining everything that you ever wanted from your business. The numbers are up. You're gaining the clients. They're high quality leads. But you've neglected your spirituality completely, and it all feels meaningless then. Or you've neglected your family that whole entire month, and you feel a sense of guilt that you haven't even been calling your family, the family who've provided for you, who've spoiled you when you were a kid, and even showered you with love. And even if you have parents that weren't super affectionate or weren't super good to you, they still gave you shelter, still gave you food. Or even if they didn't, they still tried to give you the best things in life. And neglecting them just for your business, just for money, it crushes the soul. That's why you need to keep all of these in check. And accountability really helps us really dial into all of these areas in our life. So, I want you to reflect back on everything you've been neglecting this week or even this month and get back to it. And I want you to go through each of these things and simply just tick all of them once you complete all of them. It's going to change your business, trust me. Now, the other thing that you need to know is really, really crucial. Oh, I am really craving to tell you all of this. Okay, it is to stop relying on others. That's it. Look, it's you. And what I mean by stop relying on others is that you stop relying on other people as well as AI. So you stop relying on other people and you stop relying on AI. Now, I'm not telling you to ditch other people's help. It is okay to seek help. And I'm not telling you to ditch AI. It is our future, and we cannot completely ditch them. But what I'm trying to say is that when you start relying on others, it gives up the sense of control that we have in our lives. And as you know, as entrepreneurs, as coaches, how important sense of control is to us. And when you rely on others, you start giving away the brain power to others. It's as if you're stopping your own thinking mechanism to rely on somebody else's brain to work for you. And I don't get this, but I was part of this for a long time. So, let me tell you a story first and how I came to realize all of this. So, let me tell you a story about me and my brother. We we always used to live with each other. We did business together, we worked together in the same job. I remember we were running an affiliate marketing website where we were writing the tech products, especially graphics card and all the CPU and PC related stuff. As an elder brother, I used to tell him to take every task. I used to dominate him completely. I used to give him every task I could give him, and not only with the stuff on the computer, but in real life as well. He used to take this out the trash, and he whenever somebody came to our door, I used to send him to go and grab and check up on who's coming. And even to the point that he used to order all the food, and he used to make this decision what we're gonna eat today. So I didn't realize one thing, and the thing is that almost last year he went to another country to study, and there's something that I realized, and there's one thing that I realized after he was, and it was only when he was away from me, then I realized something really shocking. I realized that he used to do all these tasks and he used to think for me, where basically I was dependent on his thinking, and he used to make all the decisions. He used to order the food. He used to see. He used to track our numbers on our. We had a small YouTube channel where we uploaded kind of like documentaries, and he used to check all the comments. He used to see the numbers. He used to tell me all these ideas we need to make, and my thinking was basically numbed. I couldn't even think for myself, and even if I wanted to think about anything, I used to go up to him. And even though he was a younger brother, I used to just rely on him relentlessly. And it got to a point where I just switched off my brain, and because all the answers was with him. That's what I thought. And my brain was, if you checked my brain activity, it would have had no activity at all. You would see nothing, a stagnant image of my brain. And that is how reliant I got of him. And when he went away, then I had to think for myself. I had to order the food. I had to make all the decisions for our business. And I couldn't realize how big of a difference it made. And I had to think for myself. It was such a tedious process. And it is part of the reason I'm making this video, and it is a part of the reason I've included this point as well. This is a crucial point. A lot of the people rely on others, and especially now in the day and age of AI, a lot of the people now rely on AI as well. So I need you to stop doing that. And it was only when he went away and I started thinking for myself, where I saw progress for myself for the first time. Or else I would have been dependent on him for the entirety of my life. So even though it was saddening for me to see him leave, because he was with me for almost 18 years, but then again, it taught me a big lesson, and a new chapter of my life started. And you can also start a new chapter to your life when you stop relying on people. You might be relying on somebody else. Maybe you're relying on your team members, and maybe you're relying too much on your business partner, and that is not good. You and your business partners are separate entities, and you need to treat yourself as a different person from your business partner, and you need to think for yourself first. You need to take all the decisions and then consult with your business partner, and then come up with a mutual agreement or whatnot. The thing is, you need to have it, because if your business partners have all the brains of the business, If all of the ideas are of innovation is coming from your business partner, you could lose your business in an instant, and he could simply leave the partnership and leave you stranded because he has got all the ideas of innovation, and he can start a new business and still be successful. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I'm telling you to have your own side of thoughts in which you can think clearly for yourself as well. So you're not dependent on anybody, including your business partner, including your team. And when it comes to these people that you're coaching, some of the clients have just switched off their brains, and they just want you to handhold them. The idea of handholding is plain bad. Even if they pay you, they'll be so hard to fulfill because they don't even think for themselves. They want you to spoon feed them. They want you to do everything for them. And guess what? The worst part of it is after 90 days or after 120 days, when the program is done, when the mentorship is over, they're going to be in the same exact spot where they were before because the hand holding has stopped working for them. And these kind of people always go into this vicious cycle of seeking help from others, seeking answers from others, as if all the answers are lying with other people, with other coaching program. And I myself have mentorship program, but I want clients that can think for themselves, who have the clarity of thought to execute on their own. And that's why I don't promote the idea of handholding. And I'm seeing this, it has become rampant in the coaching business, where people are promoting themselves and telling people that if you want a handholding, then I can help you. But I personally believe this is a downfall for them, because they're gonna be low quality leads. Even if you get the money, you will get the money from them because they're easy to convince. They're always on the edge. All you need to give them is an emotional push. They'll hand you their money. But the thing is, they're gonna be low quality leads, and they're likely to not get the results that you intend for them to have. And they're gonna be super hard to fulfill. And coaching is all about transformation more than the money. And these people are the worst to transform. All they can do is just use a little bit of push and use all of the hand holding that you're doing to generate a bit of motivation. And once you're gone, they're stagnant. So instead, you need people who think for themselves. You need clients who can execute on their own, who are thinking about how to innovate, how to make their products better, how to give the best service to their clients, how to have a connection with their audience instead of just being a mentor that is super hard to reach. How can they be authentic with their clients as if they're friends, in a way that their clients are willing to pay for them? And not only that, but they're willing to see their growth, and they're willing to go beyond what you teach, and even at points to give you feedback to improve your own business. These are golden clients that you need to build a connection with them, and you need to keep them even long after you're done with the coaching program. These are the people that are good for the society, and especially for you as a coach, because they're not only thinking for themselves, but they're also thinking about how to make the society better. And with society, I mean, how can they make your business better as well? And it is only when they think of themselves first, then they can improve what is out there. It is when you can think with clarity, then only you can provide your clients with the best service. Because think about it, the people who don't even know where they're headed, how can they take their clients and transform their lives? If somebody is blind, how can they guide you the way? It's like he'll point to a desert which has animals and scorpions in it, and he'll say, "Oh, there's a road that that'll take you home," because he's blind. How can he know? And the same thing applies for AI as well. You can rely on AI as much as you want, but it's not gonna help you. I see so many coaches do this and make the mistake of rushing to AI, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Gemini, and they rush to these AI softwares for answers. If something goes wrong, if something needs to be fixing, maybe it's their funnel or their copywriting, or they have to write the copy for their ads. They rushed to AI softwares for the answers. You know what that's gonna do to you? That's gonna numb your brain, and it's gonna take away the ability for you to think. And the worst part is, the more you do it, the more the cycle repeats. And this is the trap of AI. It has stopped our ability to think. And innovation, if you remember, innovating comes from asking yourself these big questions about your business, about how can you make things better. And if you're going to AI, it's going to make you even more confused. I'm not telling you to ditch AI or to ditch people at all. I'm an advocate of seeking help, and you should seek help. And of course, you should join mentorship programs as well. And the best mentorship you can join is my mentorship, because I will teach you how to think clearly in a way where you'll avoid all the bottlenecks that you have in your life and your business, and all of these things that are leaking the revenue away from your business. With the clarity of thoughts, you can see these things, and I'll teach you all of this. This is what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to ditch others or help from AI. The best practice you can do is to think about the solution first, yourself first. And then, once you have the understanding, and then you've come up with your own sort of answer, only then go to these AI softwares or go to mentors. And the best part about it is, there's a super high chance that you're going to come up with the answers from within, that you wouldn't need any help from AI or from any of the mentors, including me. This is the beauty of our brain. Our brain knows, it has the answers within. As Rumi said, what you're seeking is seeking you. Now you have all the answers. I know it sounds pretty corny and pretty out there, but you've got the answers in yourself. And I've told you all about how to seek answers and how to wait for the answers in my innovating video, which you should watch right away. But the thing is, the premise is that you need to train your brain to think clearly at all times. And if you give in to these things, if you're constantly going to other people and you're constantly rushing to AI softwares for answers, guess what? Sure, you'll get the answers, but those are not going to be answers you're looking for. First, you need to come up with your own type of solution. And it's not going to be a full form of solution within your head. It's going to be something vague, but you'll have this understanding and an idea, and so some thought pattern will form a structure inside of your head first, and which is good. But inversely, if you're not doing this, it's going to be a downhill for your brain, and we need to think. We need the ability to think in order to innovate. And Napoleon Bonaparte said, if you want a thing done well, do it for yourself. Considering Napoleon, if you know anything about him, he was a ruler, and he had armies of people, and he had an arsenal of people. And if you read his biography, you'll understand how he, even after the riches, he went through all of his battles. He was a ruler. He could have sent his armies and his troops, but he went there himself and fought against the other people. And he was a conqueror. Many times he had won battles. So if you want a thing done well, Do it for yourself. Now, now comes another critical point. Now we're talking about how to think. When you're thinking, you will get these negative thoughts, and there will be sort of like a pendulum where your brain will produce either destructive thoughts or complete fantasies. And now the destructive thoughts will make you angry. It's going to provide frustration. It's going to make you jealous. It will have you worrying about petty things. And you'll get this sense of hatred. And one of the signs to know that you're having destructive thoughts is that you'll become agitated, and you'll have this enraged feeling, and you want to just punch something. And if you're getting this angry feeling, this agitation inside of you, then it is surefire way to know that your brain has put you in these destructive thoughts and you've given into them. The same thing is with fantasies. Your brain will give you scenarios where you're experiencing pleasure. Maybe it's a scenario where you're experiencing some form of lust. Maybe it's maybe you're seeing something and fantasizing about something soothing and calm and serene. And while you might think it is good, but even the fantasies are dangerous because it often keeps you stuck in delusion. And you see this line, and often the middle part is where you should tread. Because if you know about other things, that then you should know that the somewhere in the middle rule states that doing too much of something or doing too little, it's better to be in the middle than to be on the extremes for most of the things. Now it is the same for your energy levels, it is the same for your social skills or your confidence levels. It is the same. The best course of action is usually somewhere in the middle. You need to avoid negative thoughts, because if you're thinking clearly, your brain will push these negative thoughts in front of you, and it will stop your judgment and thinking completely. And I'm not telling you to avoid the negative thoughts, I'm telling you to reject these thoughts. So whenever your brain pushes for any of these thoughts, you must tell your brain, no, we're not going to think about that. We're going to think about something else instead. If your brain provides you a scenario, or if your brain plays you a clip of something that happened in the past that invoked jealousy in you, catch it immediately and tell your brain, no, we're going to think about something else, and start thinking about something else immediately. You get these clips from your brain, and often these destructive thoughts keep you stuck in either the past or in the future. And most often than not, it's gonna keep you stuck in the past. And the worry comes when you're looking at the future. And all of these feelings, other feelings, usually come when you're looking at the past. So your brain will tell you, oh, remember the time when your number, or oh, remember the time when you had a bad comment and somebody called you a scammer. Or remember the time when a lot of people called you a scammer. Now, you've got two choices. You can either give into it and think about it even further, or you can simply go and say, no, we're going to think about innovating. No, those were NPCs. We're going to think about the people who complimented us. No, we're going to think about the testimonials. No, we're going to think about how many clients we've transformed in our lives. So you need to stop it. You need to catch it first and then eliminate it as soon as it comes. And this keeps you in present. And the thing is, both of these things keep you in a loop. It keeps you from thinking clearly. And you must avoid both at all costs. And you might think, why is fantasy is a bad thing? The thing is, it keeps you in a cycle of fantasizing even more. And while you might get a glimpse of calm, serene images, and you might associate it with with visualization. But the thing is, it's usually an illusion, because it's gonna keep you in the cycle of fantasizing even more and taking less action in real life, which makes you delusional. Instead, if you need to visualize, there are other protocols which I should make a video on separately. But if I tell you briefly, you should only visualize about doing the tasks and not gaining the rewards after it. So if you're visualizing of you in the Ferrari, and you can feel the steering wheel, and you can feel your wrist around it, and you can feel the smoothness of each turn and the sound of the loud exhaust, it is good. But what you need to be doing is visualize yourself having conversation with clients that have already transformed through your coaching program. Visualize how much impact you have on their lives. Visualize the task and the processes instead of the rewards, because most people cannot grasp the reward side when it comes to visualization. And that is where fantasies just keep you in this loop of fantasizing even more and taking less action. And if you fantasize too much, visualize too much of about these rewards, when you get back to work and you need to get the sales call, and you need to fulfill the clients, and you need to be on the call, it's gonna seem boring. Then all you could think of is the Ferrari you were thinking of last night. This is why it's destructive. This is why, if you want to visualize, you visualize the process. You visualize having the sales call, dominating all the sales call, where people are getting on board, and the clients are working harder than ever. They are keeping themselves accountable because of you as a coach. They respect you so much that they fear your disappointment, and they want to level up. And not only that, they want to see you grow as well. And they'll just be on the top of the world, working towards themselves, and they're gonna give you all these testimonials. This is what you should focus on, and not the rewards. I've run you through quite a lot of value, and you might be thinking how I got all of these. Well, I spent my last 5 years really learning, studying about human psychology, learning about my own ways where I saw patterns and I was stagnant in my own business. But then how I overcame them. All of these are learning from my own life, for which I've learned from the past 5 years. And these are just the tip of the iceberg, because there are tons and tons more things that we can dive into your business, which you can't even see. The bottlenecks, the leaks in your business, which are still present, but you can't even see them. And I'll identify and remove them for you, so they can stop holding your income back and you can finally scale your coaching business. If you want me to help you with that, then book a call with me, clicking the first link in the description below. And I can guarantee you that you'll start to see differently, which in turn will make you tons of money. Now, let's see a few hacks in order to gain more clarity. And these are short hacks that I should go briefly over so you know how to think clearly. So, first of all, I want you to understand that in the world we're living in, we're all surrounded by distractions. And we don't even go to the toilet without our phones. And it is stopping our ability to think. Think about it. If you're always on your phone, even when you're on the toilet, you're avoiding the thoughts, and those could be six-figure thoughts that you're avoiding. That's why make it a rule to never bring phone to the toilet. Your brain is an idea factory, so let it produce ideas. You're holding the production of the ideas back by involving phone when you're doing anything, especially when you're on the toilet. Learn to sit alone with your thoughts, and good things will start to happen. Another big thing is unintentional content consumption. This is a big thing. People have started consuming content unintentionally. Now, if you know anything about the mind, anything about the illusion of control that a human perceives as, you know that the ability to have control in our lives is what sets us apart from the losers who never take action. And no offense to the losers, but this is just a fact. If you do anything unintentionally, it takes away the control from your life. And it keeps you in a numbing state, which you should always avoid. If we go back to our complacency zone, we know that our brain perceives power and control with a state of progression and growth. But if we have no power and if we have no control in our life, we get this feeling of numbing state where we're getting all these hopelessness feelings and the feelings of giving up, and where anything we try to fix, our brain constantly just jumps in and says nothing matters anymore. This is what happens when you give up control and power from your life. And this is a crucial for the sales rep. You need to, while I hate the word empowering, but you need to empower your customers in the sales call, and you need to give them the control that they are in the driver's seat, that they need to pay you. You know this. You've done this so many times in sales call. This is the basics of sales call. First, the client has to realize that he has the power and he has the control over his life, and then he makes the decision of paying you and signing up to your coaching program. The same goes with other things, and to you as a coach as well. If you're giving up power and control, which you do by scrolling, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna feel lost, and you're gonna feel this sense of confusion, and you'll become a victim of brain fog in no time. So you need to stop scrolling. And just like you can't get abs just from training alone, and you need a proper diet, similarly, limiting yourself from phone usage, from unproductive phone usage, and from unintentional content consumption will actually be the diet that helps you work out and get those abs. Because think about it, when you're getting those abs, you're not only focusing on the abs workout, you also have to have a clean diet, or else those abs won't show. They're gonna form, but they're gonna be beneath the layer of this thing called your belly. So you need to have the workout as well as the diet. And I've already gone through the workout. By you being addicted to the progress, and by you not relying on others, and by you rejecting the negative thoughts, you're working out. But now it's time for the diet. And your diet comes when you limit your phone usage on the toilet, and when you limit the unintentional content consumption. And scrolling is designed to make you consume something unintentionally, because each time you swipe, you don't know what's gonna come. It could be a soldier dancing on a music, or it could be a meme of a cat, or anything. I don't even use Instagram anymore because of this reason. So scrolling will damage your brain in more ways than you can think of. Same goes with reels. The same goes with the short form content as well. Now take TikTok for example. You don't know what's gonna come. It also includes scrolling as well. You scroll down, you don't know what's gonna come. Now these are not only posts that you're scrolling to, these are video posts which are designed to addict you, because firstly there's music, and it alters your brain frequency, and it alters your mood, which is a topic for a whole other video. But you take any type of short form content, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, you don't even know where your time went. You're on a single reel, then another, and then 3 hours have passed. This should be the only thing that should turn you off from using short form content in the first place. And it's never good for you, and it keeps you addicted like a rat, like a junkie. He needs a hit of that coke. He needs a hit of that coke again, or else he would malfunction. That's why it is important for you to switch to long form content. And what it does is it replaces you. Now I'm not gonna go into the exact mindset and psychology of replacing a habit, but to speak on it generally, I'll make a different video on it. But to generally speak, you should you shouldn't quit the habits altogether. You should replace them instead. What it does is it allows you to have the same craving, but then itch those craving in a new manner. And you can switch from short form to long form. Like you can switch from Instagram to YouTube, and you can really gain knowledge from YouTube and consume productive content that's going to help you in your life and your business, just like you're watching right now. This is long form content, and what it's doing is it's giving you all the knowledge and equipping you with the arsenal of tools that you need for your brain to have in order to scale your business. This is fruitful. This is beneficial for your business. And you're using the same time that you're using other things like Instagram or Snapchat. What it does is you can still have the bad habit of scrolling TikTok, but you can simply replace the same amount of time using long form content. And you can watch any entertainment video as well. This is the beauty of it. If you're spending an hour scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels, you can do the same but with good content. Now, if you're spending 1 hour of that on the short form, then you can spend like 20 minutes watching a vlog of somebody who's going to Ibiza, and who's going to all of these exotic locations, and you're seeing this form of entertainment. Then you can spend 20 minutes learning something, and you can use the other third half of the 20 minutes to reinvest in your business or do anything else within your business. So you'll gain in the same hour. You'll gain Firstly, you'll gain the 20 minutes of entertainment, then 20 minutes of knowledge, and then you're saving the other 20 minutes. And you'll realize by the long form content is that you don't need much to fulfill yourself. With short form content, you need so much more to just crave your dopamine high, because your dopamine will be so high up, it'll be sky high, and you'll need to just rely on more of these and consume more of these, and an hour would feel like nothing. But inversely, when you use long form content, you'll realize that even though that 20 minute, even that little 20 minute, it'll feel like you're spending an entire day just watching. And you'll feel this boredom when you're watching something uh, of knowledge. And even if it's something entertaining, if it's long form, and if it's 20 minutes long, it's gonna feel like you're watching a 30 minutes movie, because of how it compares with these short form content. And this is what I love about these long form content, and I've made this switch ever since I had realized the power of what long form content is. Now, another thing that really will help you, and it is one of those hacks which will really improve your clarity by miles, and I actively use it almost every day. It is to start walking and talking to yourself. Now, I know it might sound really autistic to talk to yourself, and people around you might think of you like a schizophrenic person when you're talking to yourself and walking like this crazy person. But I can guarantee you that the best ideas came when I was walking, and when I was walking alone outside of my home. And I don't talk outside of my home to myself out loud. That would really allow people to basically put me in a mental prison or mental asylum for thinking that I'm schizophrenic. But I do this consistently at my own home. Now my family knows this, that I continuously walk back and forth in order to gain my ideas. And it is one of those hacks that even Einstein himself used to in order to gain these massive and these drastic ideas that are still being the foundation and that are still being these legendary and iconic ideas still being used to this day in modern science. And he said that although I have a regular schedule, I take time to go for long walks on the beach so that I can listen to what is going inside my head. If my work isn't going well, I lie down in the middle of the workday and gaze at the ceiling while I listen and visualize what goes on in my imagination. Now, the interesting part is that when I made the innovating video and when I told you about really lying down and staring at the ceiling, I didn't know that Einstein did this. So I basically, this is something that had worked for me to gain so many ideas. And I had included in this video, but now that I made this video and I was researching for it, I found that Einstein himself was also using it. And I feel this kind of ego push that I am one of those iconic people, but I really am not. But I'm sharing what has worked with me, and the ideas that come to me now is it's an abundance of ideas. It's like they overflow. I'm this idea magnet. I feel really amazing that Einstein himself used this to gain insight from his own mind and imagination. And you can do this as well for your own business. You can start walking, and what I do is I also pair it with talking out loud so that all of my thoughts when they're verbalized, they take shape and they become concrete rather than this abstract, vague form of just ideas. So when they're concrete, they're kind of ingrained in my thoughts and they're retained in my memory for a little bit longer than if I was to compare them with these flowing ideas, because you need to catch them and verbalize them in order to make them really rigid inside of your mind. And what Einstein also said was he was also known for taking walks in Princeton while he was working at the institute for his advanced study. And his colleagues often said that he would go for a walk with a problem and he would often return with a solution. And we all know about the theory of relativity, where speed and time is relative, and it has been commonly used in so many things. Even Interstellar was made on the concept of Einstein's theory of relativity. But funnily enough, Einstein came with the theory of relativity while he was riding his bicycle. Imagine that. He, when people asked him about how he came about it, he just said, "I thought of that while I rode my bicycle." It's just so weird. This guy was so good and so humble. He didn't even say that it was my knowledge and I came up with by thinking so much. No, he just went on a ride in his bicycle, and when he came back with one of the greatest theory that mankind has ever known. And this is the power of walking and also talking. And basically, the premise is, and the core concept, if we peel beneath the layers, it is that you need to align yourself with your own mind. That is the whole concept of it. If I was to draw it, imagine this is your own mind. I know it looks like an apple, but your mind and you, let me draw you, it should be interconnected. And this is the whole premise. Once you and your mind are interconnected, once your mind is working on your team, when the mind is by your side, and you can extract ideas, extract the things and all the potential it has towards your own goals. When it's connected like that, only then you can really form an amazing business, and you can scale your business that way. Now I've given you so many tools really to think with clarity, and you know how important now clarity is. These are really super powerful tools that you can use separately, so you can stop relying on other people, and this alone is super impactful. And then you can use the rejection of negative thoughts in a way where you can gain command to your brain, and this alone is more of a superpower. And then all of these hacks to stay away from basically this mental diet that is going to propel your thinking even further. And then the act of walking and talking to really interlink your mind within your own self. So these are all tools that you can use to really propel your business, really boost clarity. And of course, we cannot forget about making progress in your business that boosts clarity. This these are the things that nobody will teach you, especially for free. They're not going to teach you. They're going to put it in courses, and most people don't even come up with these things. And even if they've figured these things out, they tend to gatekeep all of them. But my goal is for you to really give these things out, so that most people and most of the business owners can implement in their lives and really see the results. That'll complete my duty. It will, and please comment down below once you've achieved those results, because that is gonna really help me sleep at night better. I've made this channel because people in my life didn't listen to me. I had all of these things to share with them, all the knowledge that are gonna change their worldview, but nobody listened to me. So I was there depressed, and that's why I made this channel, to really change the world so I can not be depressed and I can really feel good about myself.